because it's like my dad.
He doesn't understand, so.
He doesn't approve and doesn't understand.
Journey recently came out with this month's free games on the PlayStation Plus, along with some other shite. I'd missed Journey when it was first released back in 2012 because I didn't have a PlayStation 3 and simply hadn't bothered to pick it up off the store page on my PlayStation 4 because honestly I didn't even realise it was available. Sony have had a great knack recently for putting games out on PSP that normally I would never have paid for or had simply forgotten were available to me. So cool, thanks very much Sony. And Journey actually is almost the perfect game for this method of delivery, considering its humble but very enjoyable multiplayer aspect. It's a game that suits having lots of people all exploring and going through the same experience. Due to the length of the game, I couldn't imagine anyone who'd bought it when it came out last year on the PlayStation 4 still diving into it since then. See, Journey is very short, but not criminally so. I believe it's meant to be played all in one go, and I think the 2-hour mark or about is perfectly fine. And although I plan on replaying it a bunch of times just to make sure I've explored everything the game has to offer, I can't imagine me replaying it for a fair while after that. Now, people might ask, what's the plot? To be honest, it's a little unclear at first, and you'd have to be genuinely paying fair attention to the cutscenes and the pictograms you unlock to get a good solid understanding of what is going on, combined with a little bit of creative guessing. It took me an embarrassingly long time before I realised that these were actual gravestones. Besides, it isn't the plot that's important, the game is called Journey after all. But look, there's a big hill in the distance and that's where you're going. Simple. If you're stuck, head towards the biggest landmark you can see, that'll be where you want to go. It's this kind of like organic presentation that makes sense and, well, embodies the greater aspect of simplicity that runs throughout the game. Journey is simple, but near perfectly executed. You only have 2 buttons. One is to sing, which you can use to signal to your new online friends and activate stones, and the other is for jumping so long as your scarf is powered up. Eliminating the chat is a genius move, and to progress you don't even actually need multiplayer help. It just can sometimes help and gives an odd sense of companionship that enriches the game. Untiltedly, Journey is one of the prettiest games I've ever played. It's mechanically minimalistic, but aesthetically speaking, it's not. I tried to start this as a let's play, but honestly I was just too busy being silent enjoying the view. I mean, look at this! The sand has this lovely liquid sort of texture, and this underwater theme is enforced with the movement of the magic fabric animals you meet along the way, from seaweed, stingrays and shark whale things, as well as yourself. I felt like I was some mad Aladdin cunt dancing about with a pile of magic fish carpets. It also makes you feel fragile, dainty almost. Not just your character's little spindly legs as you wander through like decaying ruins which in part feel as fragile as you. I kind of figured that my character was a descendant of whomever used to live here. Perhaps this was some kind of ancient rite of passage or something, I don't know. You're never facing any game over, or at least I haven't been able to die in any way yet. But later on when you meet the big stone fish snakes that will eat your scarf and can be seen attacking our little fish blanket mates, these have a great lumbering threat, and the very fact they're made of grey stone implies that these things are complete opposed to your flowing red cloth. Going further, it feels like they're man-made, whilst I believe that the carpets are possibly some sort of naturally occurring phenomenon in this world. The game is short, but the experience goes beyond that. You'll find yourself thinking about the game beyond your playthrough. But besides that as well, it's just nice. It plays well, you're invested, it can be very calming and it's fun just darting about. It's almost the epitome of a comfy game. Journey to me is a labour of love. And considering the developer faced bankruptcy just before its release only reinforces this in my mind. It's admirable for a developer to stick to its design philosophy and risk its own existence just so they can make the best game possible. On a wee side note, the developer is still going, and has been working on a game since the release of Journey, albeit with a smaller team and much needed funds from various sources, so perhaps the release on the PlayStation Plus is the run-up to an announcement for their next game. It's hard to sort of communicate what is it that's so magical about Journey, because it's, like I say, it's simple but effective. It's something that you can't really explain to someone, you actually just need to experience it for yourself. So if you own a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, buy it, or if you've got your PlayStation monthly thing, get it off there, because you're just doing yourself a discredit if you're not. It's honestly great to see a game that is considered an art game, but actually understands the nuances of storytelling and world building without explicitly saying it to you. Oof. Now, I know I've been heaping a lot of praise on Journey, but I think it's deservedly so. It's a very competent game. I mean, I can see some people maybe complaining about it in the sense that it's very short. Maybe a gamer could find it unengaging, or maybe they would just find it plain boring, and honestly those are legitimate arguments. I don't really have a problem with that, but personally me, I incredibly enjoyed this game. And I think it's actually a tour de force. It's something beyond the horizon that actually independent gaming should be striving for. I'm not saying all independent gaming should have some sort of meta-narrative behind it all. Games can just be fun, but for this kind of art game that's actually not too pretentious and not overladen with these kind of grand ideas, it is telling a very simple story which is of a journey. Well, that's just fantastic. And as I said before, it's not even just this idea of that it's got great ideas behind it. It's also just incredibly enjoyable. It's very comfortable. So what I'd recommend to you do is get a copy of the game through whatever means, get the kettle on, get yourself a nice coffee or a tea, sit down and play some quality video games. That'll fucking do. As long as my face is in focus, I'll be fine.